Hello, welcome to this video on how to enable Dapr extension for AKS or Azure Kubernetes Service. If you don't know what is Azure Kubernetes Service, it is a managed offering from Microsoft Azure. On this channel, I have done multiple videos related to Azure Kubernetes Service, and you can refer to the playlist if you want to know more about the Azure Kubernetes Service. Then moving on to Dapr. Dapr is a distributed application runtime, which allows us to build applications in cloud-native way, and it supports multiple types of workloads. It can be used to run pops-up kind of operations or applications, and it can have many other things like eventing, messaging. All these kind of capabilities are supported by means of abstracting this into an application runtime and making our application very portable. Again, on this channel, as part of Cloud Native Ninja series, I have done a video on the past how to set up Dapr or how to configure Dapr. In this particular video, we are going to look at one of the way in which we can configure Dapr to run as part of Kubernetes. There are different ways in which we can configure Dapr to run on a Kubernetes cluster. First and foremost is to use the manifest file and apply the manifest files by running them using the kubectl command line utility. Next is to use the Helm chart, which can be used to configure all the Kubernetes related objects for Dapr. And when it comes to the Azure Kubernetes Service, there is a native integration with Dapr. We can use an extension which is provided by Microsoft Azure to enable Dapr onto Azure Kubernetes cluster. Now, there are some prerequisites for this. Obviously, we need Azure Kubernetes cluster or Kubernetes cluster. Then we need to enable the Dapr extension using the Azure CLI. And then we have to configure the component which will allow the application to use or to interact with the Dapr components. Let's get started. First and foremost, let's try to understand the difference between an add-on and an extension, because these are the different ways in which we can extend the capabilities of a Azure Kubernetes cluster or AKS. Add-ons are something which we can enable at the time of creation of the Kubernetes cluster. And if you look at the screen here, you will find there are various add-ons like the web application routing, ingress, app gateway, KDA. This is one add-on which I have again shown in the past, how to enable KDA using AKS at the time of creating the cluster itself. And likewise, we have things for monitoring Azure Policy, Azure Key Vault Secrets, Virtual Node, and things like that. When it comes to the extensions, they are the alternate way of extending the capability of Kubernetes cluster. In this case, we need to have the cluster ready, and then we add the extension to that. Let's see how we are going to add the extension for Dapr. In order to add the Dapr extension, I have created a markdown file here, and we would be running these commands from the markdown file. First and foremost, we need to add the extension for our Azure CLI or the command line. We use the AZ extension add command here, and we specify the name as K8S extension. Once we have this will enable different types of extensions for the Kubernetes cluster. The next thing is to run the update command to update the extensions so that we have the updated version or updated definitions of the extensions ready on our Kubernetes cluster. In the interest of time, I've gone ahead and created the Kubernetes cluster because it takes some time to create the cluster. And here we are going to directly go ahead and configure this particular extension. To configure the extension, we run this command azk8s extension create, and then we specify these parameters which will link the newly created extension to our Kubernetes cluster. This requires the name of the cluster type, which is managed cluster for the managed Azure Kubernetes service. Then the cluster name, which is named as Azure Singapore cluster here. Resource group is the name of the resource groups where this cluster is created. And then we have the name for the extension, and we specify the type. The last parameter, auto upgrade minor version, which is set to true, is to enable automatic updates to the minor version of this extension. when the Dapr releases new versions and when Azure updates those versions, if there is a minor update, we can enable this automatic upgrade for that. If you want to specify a specific version, we can also specify -- version and specify the name. In this case, we are not specifying any version, so it will install the latest version which is available. And when we run this command, it will ask us to confirm whether Dapr already exists or not. In this case, we don't have the Dapr installed, so we say no on this particular cluster, and it will start to run, or it will install Dapr on our cluster. This takes a bit of time, so I will fast forward the video and come back when Dapr is completely installed on this cluster. We have the Dapr installed now on our Kubernetes cluster. Now the next thing is to configure the Dapr component. Once we have Dapr installed, it will add some definitions to our Kubernetes cluster, and in order for us to, or our application to go and communicate with the cluster or to interact with Dapr, we need this component to be configured. In my Dapr components folder here, I have a PubSub component which configures what are the RabbitMQ parameters which are required for my producer and consumer. And in the earlier video, again, I had explained how Dapr uses these components. You can go back and watch that video. We can go and apply this by running the kubectl apply command, which will apply the Dapr PubSub component or RabbitMQ PubSub component in this case. And the last thing we have to do is to deploy the application. And I have a small PowerShell script here which deploys the producer and the consumer for my tech talks. And that producer and consumer is going to use this Dapr component to interact with Dapr. To confirm that the producer and consumer are working fine, let's head over to the RabbitMQ UI or RabbitMQ user interface, and let's generate some workload here. And here we have the localhost 8080. That is where the producer is exposing a method called generate, and we can pass the number of messages that have to be generated. Send the request, and it would generate the request, or it would generate those many number of messages for our producer. If this is not working, then we can head over to the Lens, and in the Lens UI, we have under the network services section where we head over to the RabbitMQ producer service and head over to this 8080, and here we can use that same generate method, and then 5000. It would generate 5000 messages here. And if we go back to the RabbitMQ, we will be able to see 5000 messages pumped into this particular queue. So that way we can verify that the producer and consumer, they are interacting using the Dapr component. And we can see that there are 4 consumers running. Each consumer has a batch size of 50, and that's why we have 200 messages being picked up and processed. And we have the auto scaling enabled here, so it will scale the number of consumers. So with that, we have confirmed that Dapr is working fine, and Dapr has been enabled as an extension to the Kubernetes cluster. We are able to generate the workload, and both producer and consumer are able to interact with Dapr using the Dapr component or Dapr extension. So that was a quick video of showing how we can enable the Dapr extension using the K8s extension approach for Azure Kubernetes Service. In some of the videos, I will show how to configure Dapr using Helm chart. But with this, we are able to create this. I think this is the simplest method or easiest method if you're working with Azure Kubernetes Service. If you found this video useful, please hit the like button. And if you're interested in knowing more about Azure Kubernetes Service, I have a different playlist on this channel. I've also done videos in the past regarding how to install things like RabbitMQ and Prometheus, SCADA on this channel, which are again related to the Kubernetes, and these are all done using Azure Kubernetes Service. So if you feel there is need to watched those videos, please go over to those videos and give them a like as well. With that, we come to the end of this video. Thanks for watching this. Until next time, code with passion and strive for excellence.